Have you ever listened to an AI voice and thought, wait a second, that sounds almost human? In 2025, we've reached a point where the line between real and artificial voices is getting harder to spot. Some voices can laugh, sigh, or even carry emotion so convincingly that most people can't tell the difference. But here's the real question. Which AI voice tool actually sounds the best in 2025? Today, we're putting 3 of the top players to the test: ElevenLabs, OpenAI Voice, and PlayHT. Each one claims to have the most natural, most realistic AI voices. But do they really live up to the hype? We're going to run the same test script through all 3 platforms, compare them side by side, and see which one wins when it comes to realism, emotion, and overall experience. So let's start. Setting up the test. To make this fair, I created one short script with a few emotional shifts. It starts with a calm intro, then moves into excitement, and ends with a more serious tone. Why? Because the real challenge for any AI voice generator isn't just reading words, it's capturing human emotion. The rise and fall, the pauses, the little imperfections that make speech feel alive. I then ran this same script through ElevenLabs, OpenAI's voice tool, and PlayHT. No extra editing, no effects, just raw output straight from the platforms. That way, let's start with ElevenLabs, a name that has become almost legendary in the AI voice world. If you've spent any time in this space, you've probably heard their voices before. In fact, a lot of creators, audiobooks, and even indie films are already using ElevenLabs because of how shockingly real their voices sound. When I ran the script, the results were exactly what I expected: smooth, expressive, and very close to human. The voice didn't just read words, it performed. You could hear subtle changes in tone when excitement kicked in, and the slower, softer delivery in the serious section felt intentional. The pros are obvious. ElevenLabs is incredible for expressiveness, and if you need to clone your own voice, it's one of the best tools for that. Creators love it because you can make your content sound more professional without needing to record hours of audio. But there are downsides. ElevenLabs isn't the cheapest option. If you're running a big project or pumping out daily content, the subscription can add up fast. Also, while the voices are great, some people notice that if you push the AI into very emotional or unusual tones, it can occasionally sound a little robotic. Not often, but it happens. Overall, ElevenLabs feels like the Hollywood actor of AI voices: polished, expressive, and highly professional, but with a price tag to match. You got to know OpenAI Voice. Next up is OpenAI's Voice, the same company behind ChatGPT. And this one is really interesting because OpenAI hasn't just focused on making voices sound real, they've focused on making them feel natural in conversation. When I tested the same script here, the first thing I noticed was the flow. OpenAI's voices don't sound like they're reading a script. They sound like they're talking to you. The rhythm is less perfect than ElevenLabs, but in a good way, it feels more like everyday speech. Another big advantage? In some maps, OpenAI Voice is actually free to use, or at least included with ChatGPT Plus or other integrations. That makes it much more accessible for casual creators or anyone experimenting with AI. The downside is customization. Unlike ElevenLabs, where you can tweak and clone voices, OpenAI doesn't give you a huge range of control yet. You pick from a handful of preset voices and that's it. If you need a specific accent, tone, or character style, you might feel limited. But honestly, the natural conversational style makes up for that. OpenAI's voices excel in podcasts, dialogue, and interactive content where flow matters more than performance. If ElevenLabs is the actor on stage, OpenAI Voice is your friend having a chat with you over coffee. Finally, we have PlayHT, a platform that's been quietly building a huge library of synthetic voices. And when I say huge, I mean it. They offer hundreds of different voices in dozens of accents and languages. For creators who need variety, that's a massive plus. Running the script through PlayHT, I got a voice that was clear, smooth, and very easy to listen to. It did the job well. But compared to ElevenLabs and OpenAI, there was one area where it lagged a bit: emotion. While the delivery was polished, it felt slightly more flat. The emotional highs and lows weren't as convincing. That said, Play.ht shines in two areas: range and pricing. If you need multiple characters, different accents, or large-scale narration, Play.ht is far more affordable than ElevenLabs. And because of the variety, you can experiment with different tones until you find one that fits your project. The main drawback is that, while the voices are good, they don't always hit that same lifelike, expressive feel. They're more like professional voiceover demos than real human conversations. Still, for creators on a budget or those who need lots of options, Play.ht is a very strong contender. Side-by-side comparison. So let's line them up. ElevenLabs gave us the most expressive and emotionally convincing performance. It sounded like a trained actor who knew how to deliver lines with impact. The biggest downside was cost. OpenAI voice gave us the most natural conversational flow. It wasn't as dramatic as ElevenLabs, but it felt the most like a real person just casually speaking. Customization is limited, but accessibility is a huge plus. Play.ht gave us the most variety and affordability. The voices are clean and professional, but sometimes lack the emotional depth of the other two. To really test this, I even did a little blind challenge. I played short clips from all three voices for a few friends without telling them which was which. The results were fascinating. Most people guessed ElevenLabs was human when it delivered emotional lines. OpenAI's voice tricked people during casual sentences, like the chatty parts. Play.ht was recognized as AI more often, but a few people thought it was just a professional voice actor recording in a studio. The fact that people had trouble guessing at all shows how far we've come. 5 years ago, it was easy to spot a robotic AI voice. Now it's genuinely tough. Verdict: so which AI voice wins in 2025? Honestly, it depends on what you're looking for. If you need emotional depth and voice cloning, ElevenLabs is the best pick. Perfect for audiobooks, storytelling, or cinematic content. If you want casual, natural conversations that sound like real people chatting, OpenAI voice is your winner. Great for podcasts, customer service, or interactive projects. If you're after variety and affordability, and you need a library of voices in different languages or accents, Play.ht is the way to go. Ideal for global content or anyone producing at scale. Personally, if I had to pick just one, I'd lean toward ElevenLabs for its raw realism. But I can't ignore how natural OpenAI sounds in conversation. And honestly, Play.ht is still a solid option if you're balancing quality with cost. And that's the battle of the AI voices in 2025. We've reached a point where AI can laugh, say, and even sound confused, things that used to be uniquely human. The scary part? Within a few years, we might not be able to tell the difference at all. So I want to hear from you. Which voice fooled your ears the most? Was it ElevenLabs, OpenAI, or Play.ht? Drop your pick in the comments below. I'll be checking to see who agrees with my verdict. And if you love exploring the latest AI tools, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post new breakdowns every single week to help you stay ahead of the curve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.